Hello and welcome to Monkey Business. I'm here with Yorkshire's best band, the incredible, the amazing Skinny Living. Woohoo! So I've got Ryan here, I've got Danny, or Jesus we call him, and I've got Will, the Yorkshire man. So today we're just going to discuss about what they're doing, what sort of tours they've been on. The main thing is, you guys have just got into the top 40.
That's right,
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So how did that happen?
Fuck, it's a long story.
We've only got an hour.
Yeah. I mean, we can consolidate it into an hour. Yeah, we just met each other in an open mic night round here, as you know, and you helped us at the very beginning.
So we met 10 years ago when these guys didn't even know what Twitter was. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I told them what Twitter was.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Twitter, it's X now.
Yeah.
We met in a little pub, and it was from a mutual friend. And you've come from Belfast.
That's
what
right.
the hell are you doing in Wakefield?
Yeah, I met a girl from Wakefield, and I came over here for my first child being born, and stayed, and met
We
these
kept
boys.
you here, yeah.
Met these boys and ended up doing a job I loved rather than something I hated doing.
So what did you do before?
Fuck loads. I was talking about the other day, probably about 14 or 15 different jobs, just testing the water, trying to find something that I liked, but I hated everything.
What did you? Give me one example.
Sold windows and doors, sold furniture, packed tomatoes in Normanton when I first moved here. I had to sit for hours stopping them from getting crushed by a machine, so they would end up.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah.
But it's like you got from that to an international pop star.
Yeah,
darling.
yeah.
Anyway. So when you guys met, you all obviously were in bands before, or
Yeah, I mean, me and Danny had always been playing in bands, like in school. I was always doing that, yeah, and doing solo stuff.
When we met, we were all trying to do like a solo thing. So like I was doing, like me and him were both acoustic guitar. A guy with an acoustic guitar, how original.
Yeah.
And he was a guy without an acoustic guitar. And when
Being original.
when he tried to play acoustic guitar, it was
Terrible.
it left some things to be desired.
It was
So then-
terrible.
We realised
you
very
don't play
quickly.
any instruments at
I
all?
do a little bit now, but not then was I literally was just trying, but I've always had like a stupid level of confidence with stuff.
Yeah.
So I arrived at a gig, played guitar and sang at the same time, and Will came up to me and he was like, "Next time you come, I'll play guitar for you."
Yeah.
Is that how it
I
happened?
could tell that you'd spent all week playing the
Literally.
Ain't No Sunshine riff.
Which is like the easiest song you
Yeah.
can play.
And you know what? Like, I just felt guilt. I just
Felt
felt
sorry for him. Didn't
sorry
you?
for him. A bit of pity, I think. And then that swatched up.
That's why we've lasted that long.
Pretty quickly,
So if you
yeah.
actually could play, you'd be like Ed Sheeran. You wouldn't need these two guys, would you?
Nah,
Nah.
I couldn't fucking do the whole thing being on my own. That would be
Yeah, I think
touring together, going through it all together. A band's just a different
It's the
thing.
best thing ever.
yeah, collaboration every single time.
And Danny, can you sing?
Yes.
Yeah.
He says no at times, but he definitely can't.
No, I say yes, but like I'm like a unbelievable backing singer,
Are you?
which is just
Absolutely.
all that really matters.
It is, and you
Yeah.
look like Jesus, so
Exactly,
you know that's
yeah,
all
yeah.
everyone wants.
Jesus has got your back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've got your back. I've got your back.
So then you've got together, and you formed Skinny Living, and then what happened there? You got which who? Fuck that. Take it out. Who was the guy who first signed you?
Adrian Jolly.
Yeah.
Yeah, RCA.
RCA, right?
Yeah.
So you were signed by RCA. You must have been over the moon by that.
Yeah, we were, and we.
Blindly.
Yeah, and it started really well. Like we were like little bright-eyed boys that were like, "Oh, this is it now. We've made it." And then one song that we released, just like
That was the chair, by the way.
I'll give you
Sorry,
a clean.
bro, it wasn't me, it was a chair.
I'll give you a cleaning. Don't worry about it. One of the songs we released was "Why," and that like got played. It did bits basically.
Oh, it's a brilliant song,
Yeah,
yeah.
it got played on Radio 1 a few times. So then they kind of threw all their eggs into the basket of that song, which was like maybe not the most like us. It was like one thing we did, but not everything we did, and we kind of went down almost like just a slightly too commercial sound.
Essentially, what they tried to do was change us from being the band that they signed, which was us.
They
and
do that all the time. though, don't they?
guitars and acoustic and rootsy, and then they wanted a piano and all these electronic sounds around it, and
No backing vocals either. There's 3 vocals.
it was literally me and a piano and some sounds around it. Well, it doesn't take away from the song, but
Yeah.
it does take away from the band, and it doesn't help us grow into what we should be.
No.
So that process started.
So you
and-
could have been like a one-trick pony with that, couldn't you? Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
could have. There was
Yeah.
quite a few times throughout different labels that we could have ended up with that, and I was speaking to somebody about that today. Like, that would have been the worst case scenario. I'd rather have just stopped altogether than
Yeah.
doing something that we don't want to do.
I've always wanted
Yeah.
to ask this. Have you ever thought about doing The Voice? Not you, obviously, Danny. You two could.
No.
As a band, though, I'm saying, would you ever do
Would
it?
you do it? Yeah. I mean, it depends on. He
No.
wouldn't. It depends on. Well, basically, a guy did it recently who's been doing it for a long time, the way we've been doing it, and he got on, he did the song, he did a couple of things. It didn't materialize for anything further than that, but he had that huge moment of exposure,
Yeah.
and his song was excellent, and he's a lot more stable now.
Yeah.
And he had been through the same process as us, where he went from one label to the next, being dropped or left the label because it wasn't working. And really, this whole entire thing is about being seen.
Yeah, of course
And
it is.
that's why we've toured up and down the country endlessly
It's
for the
hard
last 10
bloody
years.
work that you've been doing for
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
And you're right on the cusp now of making it big.
Yeah.
But I really do think I would never ever say to any band you should do any reality shows. But The Voice is bloody good.
Yeah, it is.
Really, really good. And I know damn well they'd turn around for you.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Can bands do the voice? Is it not just solo
Yeah, yeah.
singers? Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, bands they've a couple of they had twins on, didn't they? Those twins that Tom Jones got through.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's no man bands out there.
McFly are doing it at the minute together, both.
Oh, they'd
Yeah, yeah.
love you. Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
god.
but they're, like the judges, yeah.
Yeah, but
I
they.
just can't imagine, like, I mean, I've not watched The Voice enough, and sorry to the
I
Voice
don't watch it
lovers.
normally, but I've watched it the last couple of years, and I think it's one of the
Yeah.
best shows ever.
It is good. It
They
is.
really believe in the music and they like it.
Yeah.
And I know they'd turn around for you.
But the same as most of those TV shows or anything that's that big in the public eye, it's got its, like, it does
Ups and
have
downs.
its downs to it.
Yeah, yeah.
But us three going on there just with acoustic guitars, doing a song that is like really strong and the harmonies being based around it, they'd all be sat there with their backs turned going, one voice, two voice, three
Yeah,
voice,
yeah.
and then they'd be like, do you know what I
Don't
mean?
really know what to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
so
would-
there's two good
yeah.
voices, but there's one really shit one.
but that's how we.
Yeah. Well, that's the Beatles, isn't it?
That's how we would. I think if we got on it, we'd do all right, and then we wouldn't be able to go the whole way because once you get into the body of it and you've got to like become all these different things.
But being on national
that's not what
TV,
we're doing. Yeah.
on ITV, letting people see you.
Letting
And how
people
good
see
you
you
are.
being
How-
the people
how
that
about-
made it 3 weeks in The Voice, and
Yeah.
then didn't do the rest.
But it doesn't matter
Yeah, it
because
doesn't.
you're never going to get that stage ever again.
Yeah,
Ever.
yeah, I suppose.
How about we all go in individually and then just miraculously form a band?
Yeah, like I could be like Simon on there going,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you
that's-
should be with
that's
that
right.
one and that one. Anyway, let's
Do you know, I
talk-
was offered once when I was in school to go on The Voice
Yeah.
because it was at Outwood Grange,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they had a few people there. There was
That's
Sophie May
May
Williams
Williams.
and another one,
Williams, yeah.
Frances Wood.
Sophie, yeah, I know.
They both went on it, and then it was the year after, and I was just like leaving my A levels, and my teacher was like, "There's scouts coming here
Yeah,
to
send
go to
scouts
The
out, yeah.
Voice, and we want you to go and do it. I know you're not in the school anymore." I was like, "Nah, it's all
Yeah.
right. I'm all right, to be honest. Didn't think it was right, but I think this format,
Yeah.
we all went individually, and then pretended to start a band. I think.
So
it was.
McFly, if you're listening, if
Do
these
you-
boys go on The Voice, you've got to turn around for them because
Do you
they're
not think there's
amazing.
already enough people that might think, no, I've definitely seen all those three together before.
I don't think
Yeah, they're
And
definitely.
like, oh, wait a minute, what about this album or this
In
like,
fact, that could-
10-year history of these three? And Tom and Danny turned around and are like, well, they
were-
fucking supported us last year.
Don't
as well.
listen to him, I never do.
Millennials.
I completely
No one
run
ever
off
does.
somewhere then.
No one ever does.
Anyway,
I
let's
do,
get-
I do think yeah. If we all planned it as a whole, like community, the fan base and everything, we knew what we were doing, and yeah, everybody was involved apart from the new fans. Could be a bit of fun.
You got to do it, Danny.
be a bit
Listen
banter.
to your manager, man. Listen,
Yeah.
listen to Spinal Tap.
Listen to Smile Tap.
Right, let's get back to the podcast. So, when we met, you were just starting up, and you ended up going on Gabby Roslin's show. Do you remember? Because you went to the Isle of Wight Festival, and John Giddins, if you're listening, they would love to come back,
Would love to.
and they've actually got the biggest fan base now. It's incredible, unbelievable, and their sound is better than ever. So, listen, John. But you enjoyed the Isle of Wight Festival?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was
fantastic.
magic.
You know,
it was his first insight into like playing a gig like that. I remember even just being buzzing that we got on one of those like what
Oh,
they call
trolley,
go-karts,
golf
the trolleys.
cart.
Yeah.
We've got like we have maybe 20 pictures of us on that trolley because of how buzzing we were about it. Yeah, it was mad.
Was that
It
your
was mad.
first festival?
Yeah.
And how many more have you done since then?
Quite a few. I
Yeah,
lost
lots.
count.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good festival.
It was the only time we've ever stayed in a tent at a festival though,
Yeah.
because we quickly learnt that
We're staying in
That's-
hotels
yeah,
after.
that's
that.
not for us.
Well, I stayed in the hotel that night.
yeah,
Great.
obviously.
And the VIP area was amazing.
Nice.
We did that. We went back for festival not that long after, and we were like, okay, we're staying in a hotel next time we go
Yeah.
back.
We stayed in the Sandringham Hotel. I
Yeah.
remember.
Oh,
that.
did you? No.
And met J5, Jurassic 5.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's right.
wow.
yeah, that was pretty.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they were giants, weren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They walked down the thing, and it was like they're walking down the steps, and then suddenly they'd stopped walking down the steps, but they were still 3 feet tall. Like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But it's weird, isn't it? I mean, you have to do those 10 years to really enjoy proper stardom.
Yeah,
And if you did go on The Voice now, it's not like you've done it from the beginning and won something. You've actually had all that struggle
yeah.
that you're, ready. And I think you need that to really appreciate staying in a hotel.
Yeah,
You've
And
been
ha-
going
and
around in
handle it.
vans all the time.
And handle it. I think
Yeah.
if we were where we are now, when I was 19 or the lads were 19 or whatever, it would have been really hard. Like I'd have probably lost the plot for sure.
Like Liam Payne, poor
Yeah.
sod,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, awful.
It's really awful. But,
Very.
it comes to, and they say when you get famous, you stay in that actual age.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't move on at all, and you can't do anything else. So, anyway, enough of the depression. So, let's move from that to the Isle of Wight Festival. Then you did Coco in Camden, and then from that, you've just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's mainly because of one thing, isn't it, really? Your fans.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, how you've got your fans is a bit unusual because you go around Wakefield and other places and just sing with your phone.
Yeah.
And just built it on Facebook and Twitter
Yeah.
and Instagram, and you've got this amazing fan base now for what couple of million people,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. We didn't even really plan it. The first video was in Ireland, wasn't it, in Bangor,
Yeah.
and we just like
On the
Yeah, it
beach.
was.
yeah, we were just
Yeah.
walking. We were just walking, and we realised we all look cooler, like we're in a band. So Ryan pulled his phone out and just filmed it on the selfie camera, and then that video did a little bit of it, built us and let us share it around a
Yeah.
little bit, and then we just realised it worked. So consistently did it for
A long
10
time.
years.
Yeah, 10 years basically. But we even to the point where we found the car park, the Ridings car park in Wakefield. Shout out Ridings. And they we realised the reverb and everything. So now anywhere we are in the country, if we need to film one, we're just like, where's the nearest high-rise multi-story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
But it's
Reverb
lovely
makes
though.
a difference for sure.
Yeah.
It's really nice for if you're playing in a town, it's like Stockholm or wherever you are, that you go to some sort of local point that they all recognise
yeah,
and sing to that, and then you're getting their fans sort of loving you more because you're in their country doing it all,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's why Wakefield loves you so much.
Yeah.
I mean, does Jane McDonald know about you?
I don't think so.
No. We were in the same rehearsal space as her last week, and I was just trying to think of how can I get in that room and just get a support from us, but yeah.
You just go in there and say, I like cruising.
Yeah, but there was too,
Love it.
there was there was too
And
much
I love
security.
Wakefield.
No, she's all right, old Jane. She's all right, Jane, not old. Didn't mean to say
It's
that.
all right. This is getting edited. Say what you want.
Don't
Yeah.
put that.
Speaking of that, you've said fuck a few times. We can swear, can't we?
Of course.
Yeah, of course
Oh,
you
yeah,
can.
yeah,
It's
go
rock and roll, love.
Tintin'
Yeah, I know, but I don't know how.
It's rock
I
and
don't know how
real.
monkey business
Yeah.
works.
Rock and real.
Rock
I'm a
and
bad
real.
influencer.
Get out.
Yeah, bad influencer. I
Yeah,
love that.
that's what I am.
Ah, I fucking love that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
genius.
come on.
Right, let's think about now what else we do. Should we talk about your new album? Is anything? What else would you want to talk about as growing?
The growth of the band? Fucking hell.
Or do you want to go straight to what's happening now?
We could talk about the fans, like how you said about the fans. We could talk about the fact that the fans share stuff all the time and word of mouth and the fans.
Yeah, and then
love it.
we need to go on about you being an independent band. So when was it last that you were in a record deal?
Yeah.
And why you're independent now? Is it just because no one else wants you?
Yeah.
That's good. Keep that in. So you guys are an independent band now. And is that just because?
I think somebody would be frightened to sign us, literally, because we're not here to be manipulated as a band. We're here to do what we want to do. And I had a conversation with a record label just 2 weeks ago, and I felt in the conversation that they were immediately like on guard, because I was just like, look, we've done this, this, and this. What we need is this. We just need.
You actually had a voice, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I wasn't there like, oh, sweet, you're going to make everything great for us. Because essentially what we want to do is be able to continue to make music and live our lives without worrying about being able to pay the bills. Like, what
The music
every artist
business
wants to do.
is now coming out to be quite corrupt, and a lot of what they've done to young boys and young women
Yeah.
in the industry is terrible, because they do just take the piss, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do.
Yes.
And when you're a bit older
Absolutely.
now, and you're in your 30s, are you in your 30s yet?
Yeah.
Getting there.
Give it a couple of months and we're both in.
Oh really? Yeah.
Couple months.
When you're in
Couple
that,
more months for you.
when you're in that age group, they don't like
3
it
more
because they
months.
can't manipulate you, can they?
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what's so scary. So you've gone out on your own now,
yeah,
and you've actually got in the top 40
yeah,
as an independent band. And there's what, a couple of others done that in the history of it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it #1 independent band in the country. That's
Wow.
on the week of release.
And how did that happen? From the fans, obviously.
From the fans, yeah. And for the last, since we left the last record label, we had a moment where we were like, fuck, should we be doing this? Is this like really what we need to do with our lives and whatever else? And then literally, I've wrote about this before, like I stood out in the garden and I was thinking about the fan base, and I was thinking about how much our music actually connects to people and makes a difference, because we've had multiple messages about the difference that the music's made for them. And I was like, it should be working. It's
Yeah.
not our fault that it's not working. And we actually had a huge, like a really successful music executive from Sony at a gig one night, and he said, if this band doesn't make it, it's our fault. It's not
Yeah.
their fault. And it's true, because the last 3-4 years of our lives, we've just focused everything on doing what we do on social media, releasing music, recording music.
So you're
and
like a
it's
rage
grown.
against the machine, aren't you, really?
Yeah,
You're completely like trying to do it the real way and the nice way. Probably was like that in the 50s.
Yeah.
No,
the
early-
amount
yeah,
of times I
absolutely.
want to say fuck the industry,
Yeah.
like it is ridiculous. But there's so much of the industry that's good, that there's so many people that have helped us within the industry, but it's just that final hurdle between the A&Rs and the record and the radio stations and TV. That's the problem. It's bottlenecked. It's like they're not letting enough new stuff through. All the artists that have already done it are there because they're earning money for the pockets of those people. That's why it is the way
Yeah.
it is.
And
New
everyone-
music needs to come through, because it has to. It serves a different purpose.
So
than-
this could be like a revolution you guys are doing now.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
think everybody in
It's a
the
nice way to
industry is
think about it.
too scared to basically too scared of change, because they're all terrified of fucking losing their own jobs.
Yeah.
Because nobody's safe in that industry, and labels.
But this
and
goes to
change.
every industry.
Yeah, but it's like they just want you. It's so easy for somebody to be like, you need to sound like these guys because these guys are successful.
Because they're making money.
Yeah, because they're making money and that makes them money.
That's why
Stops.
now it's so boring, the music.
Yeah.
There's a few great ones like Rag and Bowman and
Yeah.
and Teddy Swims and
Yeah.
great voices coming out, but the rest of it
Yeah.
is just like
Yeah.
boring. I mean, I used to sit as a kid, listen to the charts and tape it all. But we had
Yeah.
cassettes those days.
Oh, back
We used to
then.
tape everything, and it was like really exciting because you never knew what new music. Now it just
Yeah,
all
yeah.
sounds a bleeding same.
That's another thing too, as well. There's been a big impact with the way things are digitally, and
Yeah.
people aren't touching tapes and recording
No.
and all that
it's
stuff.
coming back though, isn't it?
It is like that. Well, that's part of the reason why we've had the success, is selling physical merchandise like vinyls and CDs, and we did tapes as well. It's the past three or 4 years has just been a lot of hard graft, and our fan base really backing us to the hilt, and it's because they're fed up as well with the way that the industry works.
Yeah, I think
Like
everyone is.
So many of them are just constantly bombarding radio stations, and
You don't listen to albums anymore. I mean, since these are good mates of mine, but I've been listening to their music more now because because I know you.
yeah,
I've listened to it.
yeah.
But I sat and I've listened to it for the last few weeks. Unbelievable. And just your music, just going on my Alexa, going play Skinny Living.
Yeah.
And every song, I'm like, God, they're amazing. They're absolutely bloody brilliant. And you should be right up there now. And I'm not just saying that because you
Yeah.
pay me. They're not paying me. But, you really should be somewhere now. You really, really should be. Your sound is, like, incredible. You're the best you've ever been. So
Yeah.
this is going to
Thank
be
you.
your year.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I agree with that. Definitely the best we've ever
So
been.
you've had an EP out and an album out.
Yeah,
So tell us about that. Day by day.
yeah. I mean, do you want to start?
Last August we went to Muscle Shoals in
Right,
Alabama.
can you just explain Muscle Shoals for people that don't understand what it is or have never heard of it?
So, well, Ryan, you should take this because he's got the best speech about Muscle
All right,
Shoals.
go on
I
then.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you teed me up.
Yeah,
Didn't you?
go on, Rick.
Yeah, Muscle Shoals is where a lot of the soulful hits were recorded back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s. Well, there's loads of hits have been recorded there over the years. And when I first moved here, there was a producer that I'd met before I met these guys. And he showed me this documentary of Muscle Shoals. And there's Aretha Franklin, Otis Redding, Little Richard, all these people in recording in,
Where
these,
is it?
in these studios.
Alabama. So it's like not North Alabama,
Wow.
just under Tennessee.
My dream to go to Alabama, by the way.
Oh, it's amazing. It is
Sweet home
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yes.
It's magic. And even watching it then was really awe-inspiring. And then we got together, did what we were doing. We were going to go over to America and record in Nashville, and it fell apart. Long story. We ended up in Muscle Shoals, but some of the greatest records in the world were recorded there. And there's songs that we grew up listening to as individuals that really sort of, you can hear the sound in the album.
One for You, Wild Horses was recorded there.
You're joking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's one of my favourite songs ever.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Oh,
Yeah, it's there.
did you feel the spirits of all these?
100%.
Absolutely.
We made a documentary when we were out there, and he speaks about the spirit in the documentary.
Go on, Danny, have a chat. Who are you thinking of? Who did you see or feel?
Well, it's
Not
what-
Danny.
Yeah. You
Fucking
can cut
hell.
that one
Hey,
out.
hey, Will.
Yeah.
Hey,
Go
Will.
on.
Sorry.
Hey, Caroline.
Hey, Will.
Oh, yeah.
So you felt the spirits of all the people that have played at Muscle Shores?
I think so. I think we all did. I think I just like on that interview explained it. I thought that just everything about the vibe of the place. It's just so laid back. It's warm. The humidity of it, and just being in that environment really does, as creatives, it allows us to channel all the people that we know were there and listen to all the music that we'd studied before going. And as we were kids, I think it was just everything about that just really.
It was so easy.
Yeah, it was. It
You
was
were stood where my favourite person as well, Mick Jagger, was stood.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah,
and
same
feeling-
spot. Same
Oh.
spot as
Tom Jones,
yeah,
Aretha.
Franklin.
Wow.
Everybody, and there was one song, and this has never happened to me before. I was recording one of our songs called Breathe, and I completely just went, it sounds so hippie and whatever, but I just went, I didn't even think about where I was. I felt like I was just in like this black space, and I just came out of singing the song, and they were like, all right, come on, another take, and I was like, all right, yeah. It was just, I just drifted off. It was perfect.
Do you feel like vocally, like I felt as well, that there was just an absolute, it was like 150%.
Yeah.
Because of, I don't know if it was like because of the humidity or anything, but
Sometimes
vocally, even when we were like sat in the house and stuff and like just jamming, it just, our voices just seemed to feel more.
the atmosphere,
Just more.
the whole time you're hearing these like crickets or cicadas kind of like in the background. That's just there, so it becomes a constant. But the temperature, like the atmosphere of the place was really warm, so you could drink, you could smoke, you could do whatever, and your voice wouldn't burn out. You'd just be ready to go the whole time.
You never think about moving to Alabama?
Yeah,
I
it was
mean-
You
Like-
definitely, you look a little bit Alabama-ish.
Do you know what? As well, house prices are so cheap there.
Are they?
Yeah, like ridiculous. I mean,
It's
they're
just
all
hard
made
to
of
earn money.
they're all made of wood, and like
Yeah.
me and him almost died on a fucking what they call swing on a porch.
Oh wow!
We were just sat on a porch. Do you know
Oh,
the
I
classic
love those.
porch
Yeah,
swing?
yeah.
And it just collapses, and the bit of wood that it's attached to with nails just comes flying down and just misses both of us heads by like.
That could have been the end of
6 inch.
Skinny Living.
Yeah.
Luckily,
absolutely.
we'd recorded all the guitar parts by then.
Yeah.
It would have been.
It'd
If
have made it-
anything, it's better for him if that had happened. It's a bigger
Fuck off.
story. And
We
stuff.
did make a pact though, didn't we? If any of us die on the process of doing this, the album is going out.
Yeah.
Have you insured each other?
I don't. Can you do that?
No, I've assured
with
them
a
both that
handshake,
I'm gonna-
maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, like being over there was amazing. We were like, and I think like you made it, and the fact that we didn't even really realize it, but we gig so fucking often, like whether it's on a tour or just like a private.
All going
gig.
to one after a while, do they?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not so much that. It's just like you don't realize how often we're singing and we're like working. Whereas then we went there and like first few days you did some guide vocals, didn't you? And then you didn't sing for like a week until it was time for some vocals to be done. In which case then you've had like the most vocal rest you've had in ages in the nice humidity when you're resting well and all that stuff. It like and a beautiful thing about it is the time difference. So everything that we have to kind of be involved in at home, they're all asleep because we're awake. So it's like great because we are just like when we're in the studio. I don't think England exists. It's just we're in.
It's
Alabama.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can when I go on holiday. Sometimes I forget about England completely. But it's weird, and you could stay there, couldn't you, forever?
Oh, 100%. It was coming up to like the days going back, and I was thinking like, because I knew we were kind of coming to an end of what we needed to record as well, and it was like it's perfect timing, but. Are you sure we don't need another week? It's just like,
Well, just something that it's about me, this, because I'm the biggest Elvis fan in the world. I've obviously, and I've been to Gracelands a couple of times, and you actually went, didn't you?
Yeah,
was that when you were in Alabama?
Yeah. We drove on the way up to Nashville because we went up to do a couple of like live things up there, but on the way up we stopped off.
Yeah. It was a little bit out of the way, but it was worth it.
Yeah, apparently
it was right out of the way. Like.
They said it was on the map and it was only that big, the distance, but it was like 7 hours.
It was hours.
But you played Elvis all the way, right through his
the
life.
whole way, the whole way.
So
and it really got us in the mood.
He did 800 songs, you know.
Wow. Maybe not all of them, but as many as we could in
Wait,
that.
in 7 hours you probably could have got through.
Well,
there was a lot of Elvis on the trip in general because on the flight on the way over you could watch the movie. Which I loved because I never really knew it. My mum loved Elvis whenever I was growing up. I think I told you about this before, but watching the journey of his like him falling in love with music through that movie was amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And he had a house in Tupelo, which I went to visit, and he had one of those little swings.
Yeah.
You sit
did it?
outside,
And it was still swinging.
It was still.
Wow.
I sat on it, still swinging. Yeah, I actually sat on that. So I mean, who would you say is your idol in music, past and now? You go first, Ryan. So the past, who would you look up to and want to not copy, but just think that was how your head went into music?
I loved so many different types of music, but the one thing that resonated with me the most was how realistic Bill Withers' music was. How like Grandma's Hands or Use Me or Lean on Me, it was like Grandma's Hands about his grandmother, Use Me about a girl that he can't like.
But your music's like that because you write about real things, completely real things, and everything you write, everyone can understand. I mean, that one,
That's
Storybook.
Storybook.
Well, that was one of the first ones I ever heard. It was about your grandmother saying about your memories.
Yeah.
Nothing about anything. Don't worry about anything else. Just make sure you make good memories. So that's kind of Bill Withers sort of style.
Yeah, big
isn't it?
time. And I think that was definitely like biggest inspiration for me, 100%, because of the songwriting.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part.
And what about now? Who would you listen to now that really think...
As in a modern day artist?
Yeah, just think like you're on your own, you think, right, I really want to listen to something amazing that going to make me happy or make me feel something. Who would you put on for nowadays? Not
in the last 20 years, or was in like in the last year?
10 years, say.
10 years.
Okay. I still listen to all the old stuff.
So do I. That's the trouble.
I love Otis Redding, but I also, by proxy of that, I really like the Teskey Brothers. I think the sound that they create, the emotion that they create in the music's amazing. I love Leon Bridges, Same. I just like comfortable sounds. I think life's hectic enough. It is in my head anyway, and listening to relaxed, feeling music.
You like easygoing music, don't you?
Yeah, I love easygoing music,
yeah.
Love it. And
do you like the Eagles?
Yeah, love Eagles.
Yeah,
brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
I know.
Sonically beautiful. Like, listening to their live shows is just something else.
Yeah.
It's amazing and such a collective of people.
I think the
all together.
70s was the best era,
70s is the best. I say this all the time.
But it used to, in the 70s, everyone thought it was shit music.
Yeah, no.
But now it's
so
the best. Southern rock's my thing.
68 to like 79.
Yeah.
I think like you
Perfect.
could not only listen to that for the rest of your life and get everything you needed.
Exactly how I feel as
Apart from Day by Day by Skinny Living.
Oh, that's true. Now you, what about
In stars now.
Danny? So same question. So what's your inspiration for music?
The old school stuff. It is hard to pick one.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe the Stones, the Rolling
Yeah.
Stones. Because there's like, obviously, the rock and roll and all the lifestyle from it, but also like, yeah, Wild Horses and Angie, and like, they've got such a,
Give me shelter.
oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it's just so like,
Sonically beautiful too.
yeah, that's it.
absolutely.
They're really new. And I like that, like, Keith sometimes plays bass, sometimes plays keys, sometimes plays guitar, sometimes plays a tambourine, and like each of them were just like in the studio making. Like there wasn't anything set in stone.
No.
And then nowadays, where it's like
It was so
well, no, it's like
a bit routined.
Yeah, well, but now where it's like Ronnie and Keith will be on stage, fucking 40 feet away from each other, but still so locked in, and they don't get in the way of each other.
No.
And like it's sad that Charlie's dead, but Steve Jordan.
Oh,
on
I love
drums as well.
Charlie.
Yeah, it's sad. It is sad. But Steve's doing a great job as well. He's drumming.
Well,
It's
Mick
like
Jagger was the first man that I had an orgasm to.
Fantastic.
very fucking
Good
cool.
work.
I'm gonna drink him. I'm just about to drink that. Right. Will,
Yeah.
same question.
Well, here's a hard question.
Well, it's your
'cause-
inspiration. As a kid, who would you think you played the music that made you want to get into music more than anything?
I mean, I would say, this is ridiculous because it's like I've got my stuff that I liked from what my sisters used to listen to.
Yeah.
I've got 3 older sisters, so like I'd always listen to like Alanis Morissette. I'm a massive fan of her and her style of music.
brilliant.
I'm also a big fan of like Queen and Led Zeppelin and anything where there's like some high vocals and power, and also beauty and clarity, and anything like acoustic. But probably I would say that the one thing that made me excel at guitar and want to like gig more, I would say, would be like Newton Faulkner.
I met him not long ago.
Did you?
Yeah, he's a lovely
I've been
bloke.
dying to meet him for ages.
He's a really nice guy.
We were going to play in Hereford Indie Food Festival, and I saw that he was booked for it, and I was like, this is amazing, I'm going to get to meet him. And he was the day before. So I absolutely missed out on that, and I was gutted. But I would say, you know, the acoustic stuff like that, but maybe as a vocalist, like Alanis, Kate Bush, Stevie Wonder, Queen, that kind of
So I'm
that
the
kind
same
of
as you.
stuff.
I like a big chorus.
Yeah. I like anything that, you know, vocally is just immaculate and,
And out there.
you know, a beautiful tone of voice. And then I also love anything that has the acoustic, percussive kind of feel to it, where the instruments as well as the drums are making the kind of
Movement.
like a movement, like an organism moving together, you know.
You said orgasm then.
There's enough of that.
Back to McClure.
Right, so the main thing we're here for is you're actually going to be playing at Talyard North, which
Yes.
where we're doing this podcast, which is one of the most incredible places in Wakefield at the moment, full of fantastic musicians and podcasts, and it's just the place to be. So make sure you go there. So you're playing on what date are you playing? December?
The 21st, which is sold out, and
Wow.
the 22nd of September, which has a few tickets.
Yeah.
So grab them quick.
So where do you get your tickets from? Just go on the Talyard North.
Yeah, you can get them there, I think, or you can get them on our website, skinny-living.co.uk.
Well, we'll put that up on the podcast where you can buy the
there's a
tickets.
few. And if you've seen us before, this show is slightly different because there's the 3 of us, and there's bass and there's drums.
Oh
and
yeah, that's
there's
a question I want to
keys.
ask you. So you've been a threesome for a while. What made you change from a threesome to have a proper band with you? Do you feel more
Emotion.
confident? Or?
Emotion. It's they tell a story in a song. Like sometimes you need those other sounds around it, strings and horns, just evoke emotion that like you can't get anywhere else. And we've based our whole career up to now off the
Just
songwriting, and they like so you can hear every word and every detail of the emotion of the lyric. But what we wanted to do was back up that lyrical emotion with the sound of instruments that do that, and that's what the bass and the drums and the keys and the strings and the
There's
horns
one
do.
thing I'm very interested in because I used to work with Mike Oldfield from Tubular Bells, and you've actually got a Christmas record coming out
Yeah.
with Tubular Bells
Oh,
in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
So how did that happen? What made you pick the bells?
because of the song. The song is just a very it's quite a traditional Irish kind of feel in the way
nice.
that the rhythm is, and it just is perfectly timed for bells to fall on it, and it's Christmas-esque in its lyricism as well. It's about like getting out of the big smoke. I actually wrote it in London years ago when I was feeling a bit homesick. I was like, I need to get out of the big smoke and clear it from my eyes, and that's sort of getting home at Christmas is that vibe. So yeah, that's how it ended up there, and the bells were like the icing on the cake to make it Christmas, because otherwise it would just be another sort of
So we need to get this.
song.
We need to get this number one, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Nice.
So
That'd be
Mike
nice.
Oldfield, if you're listening to this, can you give the boys a thumbs up and tell all your fans to
Tubular thumbs up.
Come
Tubular
on, Mike.
thumbs up. Come on, Mike.
Yeah, come on, Mikey boy.
So very quickly, we're going to end it now. What's the future looking like for you guys?
More music. We're going to record a live album on the 23rd of November at the Ulster Hall in Belfast, which is the biggest venue we've ever played in general. But the biggest venue we've ever played as a headline act in Northern
And how
Ireland.
many is that to?
900.
900 people.
Yeah.
You did Coco with 1,000 people.
Yeah, but
in
we're
it.
we're headlining.
Oh, you're headlining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our own
We've
ticket
actually
sales.
sold slightly more in Wakefield before as well, but it's
The venue.
place.
the fucking hall.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
what
it's
we're
That's
saying,
the
it's like,
spot.
it's like a big.
It's like the
massive
Royal
hall,
Albert
like-
Hall of Belfast.
Oh
That's,
my
that's the
God.
vibe.
Yeah.
It's
Honestly,
beautiful. The architecture's unreal, and we're bringing all that sound we've just described there. So we're doing that, and then we just plan on releasing little singles every now and then, and getting back round to the point that we're going to release an album again, but we don't know when that'll be. It's just
And also, you've got to do The Voice next year.
Of course, yeah. Individually, of course.
You too.
You too. I don't want the fuckers there either. I've got enough Irish people in my life.
All right. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks so much. It's been so good to see you again. Yeah. Sorry, mate. And you, Ryan.
Come on,
No,
then.
no.
Yeah.
Really good to see you. I can't wait for December the 22nd.
Yeah, you made him collapse.
Did
Yeah.
you fall off the chair?
No, I was just.
he just
trying to be
cringed into
funny,
the
yeah.
floor.
He cringed into the floor. Yeah.
And I wanted to say thank you to Distillery Bar for the rum and Coke and the beer. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. And that's
Cheers.
part of Tar Yard North as well. So see you on the 22nd. And you got a question for me, you said.
Oh yeah, who was the second person you orgasmed to?
Oh, Roger Daltrey.
Who?
Yay! Bye from Monkey Business.
Yeah, well,